Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez are apparently in talks for a rematch in 26, and my only question is why? Why? Outside of a massive pay. This fight wasn't necessarily a competitive fight, and if they do it again, I think it's going to be less competitive. This is going to go very well for one Saul.
Canelo Alvarez, even after being completely outclassed in September, still refuses to face the truth. He keeps insisting that he wants a rematch with Terence Crawford, convinced that a healthy arm would change everything. But boxing experts are practically begging him to stop it. From Eddie Hearn to Antonio Margarito, the message is the same: Canelo is no longer physically capable of chasing Crawford down. This isn't just a risky rematch, it's a career-ending mission. If Canelo steps into that ring again, he may be walking straight into the final chapter of his boxing life.
Well, it looks like it's the end of an era. Canelo Alvarez spoke about his retirement plans and has confirmed that the end is near and that his time inside the ring is coming to an end relatively soon. Canelo Alvarez said that he is now in the stage wherein he's also thinking a lot about how he wants to focus as well as enjoy the fruits of his labor, not just for himself but for his family as well. The Mexican fighter who made his professional boxing debut at the age of 15 years old and has been professionally fighting for almost 20 years now said the following, and I quote, "From the age of 28 to 29, this is the age where I have felt best. I've always said that at 37 years old is a good age to enjoy what I have done with my family, other things in my career, and that's what I say. But I said I would debut at 18 and I did it at 15. End of quote.
The most shocking warning isn't coming from fans or critics, it's coming from someone inside Canelo's own inner circle, promoter Eddie Hearn. Promoters usually hype any fight that makes money, but Hearn has been brutally honest about this matchup. He revealed the truth: Canelo's camp never wanted public. They knew Crawford was a nightmare matchup years ago. According to Hearn, Canelo isn't just dealing with a great boxer, he's dealing with his stylistic kryptonite. Crawford's lateral movement, angles, and switch hitting completely cancel out Canelo's power. It wasn't a bad night, it was a bad matchup, and Canelo's body no longer supports the style he needs to win. Hearn suggested that Canelo's ego was blocking him from accepting the reality. His eyes still see openings, but his feet can't chase them anymore.
I believe they have a rematch clause. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of wording, because Canelo doesn't enter a fight without some kind of wording in terms of a rematch clause. But he's just not going to beat Terence Crawford. It's the style's all wrong for him. The movement's all wrong for him. And that's what I said. You know, going into the fight, I really believed Crawford would win in the style that he did. And then just as it got a bit closer at the weigh-in, I was like, my heart was like, nah, Canelo's got this, you know. And but deep down, I kind of knew that it was all wrong for him. And to be honest with you, Canelo knew it was all wrong for him. You know, I had the conversation with Canelo Alvarez probably, I don't know, a year ago, about Terence Crawford. And he was like, no, why would I fight Terence Crawford? Like, you know, he hates that style. And when he fought Charlo, I remember him being really disappointed that Charlo just moved and moved and moved. And that's why he ended up fighting Munguia and Berlanga, because they're guys that wouldn't do that and they'd stand in front of him, and that suits him down to the ground. Anyone that's got movement like Skull, like Crawford, like, you know, he really struggles against. And when he was a bit younger and fresher, he could probably get away with it and cut it off, and, you know, but then you see guys like Bivol and, you know, Crawford and these guys beat him because of that movement. And I don't know what he does again. I mean, you know, the biggest money fight out there for him is the rematch with Crawford.
This ties directly into the physical decline analysts are now openly talking about. Reports from Sports Illustrated and Fan Nation argue that Canelo wasn't just beaten, he was hunted. The brutal focus is on one thing: his knees. After 2 decades of fights, Canelo has almost no knee cartilage left. That has turned him into a slow, flat-footed fighter. In his prime, he cut the ring beautifully. Against Crawford in 2025, he moved like he was stuck in mud. You cannot fix worn-out joints with a training camp. Meanwhile, Crawford moves like a sprinter, circling, pivoting, making Canelo miss and punishing him all night. The expert's conclusion is simple and terrifying: Canelo physically cannot move fast enough to land the punch he needs to win.
I mean, is it dangerous to Canelo's legacy to lose to the best of this era and the best of the era previously? I don't know. Like, did Canelo ever have an era where he was the best in the world? Maybe that's the question he's still trying to answer himself, and why he would want this rematch with Crawford. But when I see this news coming out of him wanting the rematch, having the elbow surgery, maybe in his mind going, okay, my elbow wasn't fresh. I wasn't able to turn my shots over, so that's why I can win this rematch. I like the competitive nature of it. I don't like the fight for him. I think the matchup's all wrong for Canelo. I think this style of fight, in terms of what Terence Crawford does well, is counterpunching off the front and back, the ability to go from range with his jab, be inside with it too, protect himself, catch counter. Got just a different timing that Canelo really has on his punches, and then you pair it with the volume that Terence Crawford can throw and his feet and his angles. This is the bad matchup for Canelo. We've seen it already, and I just don't know if the rematch goes any differently. I think Terence Crawford would have Canelo in real trouble the second time around. And again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he'd knock him out cold, because Canelo's got an iron chin, but if he didn't already in the first fight, he would do a number. Texas Instruments 83 plus on Canelo if they rematch. I truly believe that, because I think the matchup's all wrong. I think that both guys learned something about the other in that fight. And the guy that took more away as far as data and things to use was Terence Crawford, because what Canelo brought was the best version of him, and it wasn't enough. And if Terence brought the best version of him and it was enough, because I think both guys brought their best version, but the fight played out how the styles will always match up. Canelo is best when a guy will stand in front of him and go upper body movement, planted feet, let's fight exclusively in the phone book. Terence Crawford is at his best when he can dog walk someone, walk the dog on them literally, have them on a leash, walking around the ring, and then planting his feet, throwing, circling, feinting off the back foot, then coming back, counter punches. He has every tool in the shed. And I think skill-wise and stylistically, Canelo.
As if the physical issues weren't bad enough, former champion Antonio Margarito has added an even darker prediction. He believes the rematch will be much easier for Crawford. This is based on what insiders call the solved puzzle theory. Once a master boxer like Crawford figures you out, he never struggles with you again. Margarito says Crawford has already downloaded Canelo's timing, Canelo's rhythm, Canelo's feint speed, Canelo's power. There are zero surprises left, and because Canelo cannot completely reinvent his style at this stage of his career, Margarito warns that Crawford will know every move Canelo makes before he even makes it. The rematch would be a one-sided beating. And now the warnings are becoming personal, not just technical. The tension between both camps is exploding, especially from Crawford's head trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre. Bomac isn't simply advising Canelo to avoid the rematch, he's threatening him. Right after the first fight, Bomac was caught on camera shouting,
¿Qué me dice de la gran pérdida que tuvo México ahorita ante Terence Crawford en parte de Canelo? Una pérdida muy dura para el boxeo mexicano, pero ¿qué piensa usted de eso? ¿Qué pasó ahí esa noche?
Sí, mira, realmente yo siempre lo he dicho, ¿no? Realmente, mira, yo siempre lo dije que Canelo, pues aprendió mucho, y la verdad digo mi respeto, ¿no? Pero creo yo, sinceramente, pues que Canelo realmente, pues escogían rivales para poder que se viera ganadores. Yo sé que arriba del ring no sabemos qué pueda pasar, ¿no? Pero realmente yo creo que no peleó con los mejores para mí, ¿no? Y realmente yo creo que Crawford, pues tenía el estilo para ganarle. Y sinceramente me han preguntado, y yo pienso realmente que en una revancha le gana más fácil Crawford a Canelo. Digo, desgraciadamente, pues es mexicano, ¿no? Y haz de cuenta, a veces, pues tengo problemas con los mexicanos, pero realmente yo es lo que yo pienso, ¿no? Del show de Canelo.
Yeah, Canelo is a good fighter, and he learned a lot. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, but I knew Crawford was going to win, and I was going for the Mexican because I'm Mexican, of course, but Canelo used to choose his fighters, but this time he couldn't do that.
In the rematch, he thinks Crawford can beat him easier, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be easier for Crawford to beat him.
Yeah.
You know, there was this big blow-up thing, like, I was scared of him. And that's why I was like, man, I ain't scared of you know what I mean?
Big blow-up thing.
Yeah, because he was just like, you know what I mean? He said he didn't say it, you know, but they was saying in the
Took
back
that personal.
Yeah, like, I'm scared of him. I'm like, scared of you? Like, me? Oh, man. So I'm like, when this bell ring, I'm coming right at him. You know, and just let him know that I'm going to be here all night. I ain't going nowhere.
Talk me to the fight.
So, you know,